What's new, Dama Crew? Welcome back to another Pokemon video, where in today's video, we're going to be discussing the top 15 Pokemon promo cards to buy right now. The cards in this list are going to stem back all the way to the Sun and Moon era to where we currently are right now with Modern, being the Mega era. And we're going to give in-depth analysis to all of the cards on the list. I think just saying, oh, this card's down 30% is an easy cop-out. Anyone can look at a graph and say that, but we're going to give in-depth reasoning, things that happen over time, popularity with Pokemon, specific trends with related cards to the ones on this list, a lot of things so you can feel more confident going into making conscious decisions when picking out cards to buy in the current state of the market, which a lot of people are calling a crash or a correction. And I would say I'd call it a correction. It's a good correction because lots of cards are down 30, 40, 50%, which is a big indicator for me and lots of other people who have been here for a while to buy. This is the best time to buy, get tons of cards at a fire sale when they otherwise are extremely expensive. So right now is a great time to buy specific cards. And the 15 promo cards we're going to be talking about, I believe, are really good at their current price point. So without further ado, thank you for being here. If you could do me a favor and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. But let's get into these top 15 promos. The first card on the list is the Pokemon Center Shiny Mimikyu from the Paldean Fates ETB. So I have a lot of reasons to why I believe this specific card is currently undervalued at its price point. It is one of those cards that over the past year has only gained 6% in value. Sure, it has seen a meteoric rise during this crazy wave of influx of people coming into the hobby, but has since corrected right back down to where it was with only a 6% rise from its year growth, which is like, that's one thing. It showed me its high, which is over $100 when we have a lot of people seeing all these cards, grabbing up Pokemon Center ETB promos, and really enjoying what they're grabbing in mass. It shows me what a card like this can do, which is almost double its price point from where it was at, around $40 to $50 all the way up to $100. And now that it's corrected back down to around $49 or exactly $50 at market right now, I think it's a great time to buy this card. In terms of value, in terms of percentages with a graph, that's why. But now let's get into the more intricate reasons, because I told you at the beginning of the video, we're not just going to say, oh, the graph did this and that's why, and move on. I'm going to give you more reasons so you can feel more comfortable about your purchases. One, Mimikyu is extremely popular. Mimikyu is the most popular Pikachu gimmick outside of Pikachu. Some people even argue that Mimikyu is popular than some of the faces of the brand right next to Pikachu in terms of how crazy desirable this Pokemon is. I mean, you're still seeing Mimikyu cards being made very consistently since its release in Sun and Moon, way more than any new Pokemon from the Sun and Moon era. Mimikyu is one of those Pokemon where a lot of its cards from the Sun and Moon era until now have just steadily gone up in value. We've seen this with the Mimikyu recently, the Rainbow Mimikyu from Lost Thunder, which at one point in time was a $30 card. I have it in a binder right here. I got it for $30 at a show maybe like 7-8 months ago, and now it's over $200. There's one example of a very popular Mimikyu card. We have the Brilliant Stars Trainer Gallery, the VMAX Climax, the Trainer Galleries in that, the CSRs, the character rare Mimikyu from Cosmic Eclipse. I mean, there's so many examples of Mimikyu cards that have 3, 4, 5x'd over time just nonchalantly because there's so much demand for Mimikyu. People love Mimikyu. I'm one of those people that absolutely adores Mimikyu. I have whole Mimikyu pages in binders because I love the Pokemon. And I think due to that, most Mimikyu cards over time are a very safe bet when they have either corrected or crashed down to lows. And this card in particular really stands out for me for the simple fact that it is a shiny Mimikyu. It is the first real extended illustration we have had of a shiny Mimikyu, and we don't know when or if there will be another. So if you like shiny Pokemon and you love Mimikyu, which most people do, here's your option. Not only that, let's get into the secondary factor of why this card, or I guess the third factor at this point of why this card should do very well over time. It's a Pokemon Center exclusive promo. So a lot of you already know this. I don't have to explain it, but for the few of you that don't know, there is the normal ETB variation of this that came in every single Paldean Fates ETB. This variation is different because it has the Pokemon Center stamp on the bottom of the card. That means you got the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB, which came with this and the non-stamped version. The stamped versions will always hold value over time. They will always be more collectible than the base ETB versions. They will always hold a higher premium, both raw and graded, over time. How do I know this? How can I confidently say this? One, Pokemon Center ETBs are not as mass-produced as normal ETBs, so scarcity. In terms of population, if population ever becomes as much of a factor as it used to, which right now it is nowhere near, demand rules the market. As safe, I think that's very safe to say. Demand rules the entirety of the market. If population ever becomes as prevalent and important in terms of pricing as it once did, say something like 6-7 years ago, which it's nowhere like that anymore, but say we did go back to that, then Pokemon Center ETB promos are going to be extremely expensive, far more expensive than they are now, just due to scarcity alone. But the third reasoning with Pokemon Center ETBs, or stamps in general, stamped variations, and I said this before, like in the illustration rare video we did like maybe a week ago. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. We talked about the Bulbasaur illustration rare from Mega Base and how the stamped variation would hold more value over time than the variation you pull in packs. Why is that? It's because there's a finite amount of the stamped variation. Once they're done, plus stamped versions over time, and there's many examples of this, typically do much better price-wise, and over time, they gain more value because they're more exclusive. It's more like a prestigious thing versus the common one that's in every ETB, and that's why I think this card over time is going to be great. It's a Mimikyu, super desirable, super popular Pokemon. It's a shiny variant. We don't have any other shiny variant Mimikyu illustrations. We have the shiny, the baby shiny, but that's not a full illustration. It is a promo, so it is a Pokemon Center exclusive. It's a very desirable, finite amount that are out there. And on top of that, it is just at a bottom over the past year. Or not over the past year, it's corrected to near its bottom over the past year, which I think is a great, like, green flag for me to pick up the card. Now, that's why I believe Mimikyu is the first card on the list. Mimikyu. The next card on the list is the Mew and Mewtwo Tag Team Alternative Art. Now, this is a card that peaked all the way up at around $350+ for a raw copy when it was at its high. I think a lot of these Sun and Moon Tag Team Alternative Arts, and you're going to see a few of them on this list, have corrected a good bit, not down to as low as they were, but they've corrected a decent bit since this crazy high in the market kind of corrected. A lot of them have come down a good bit, which I think this is going to probably be the last time for people to have an opportunity to get these at their absolute lowest. I can't see, after how crazy high they went up so quickly, that they could have another instance where they just drop down to those prices. I think, like most things that happen in a market where demand really hits certain like a specific lot of cards, or things get pumped, what usually occurs is the cards go up really quickly, then they come down and correct at a point higher than what they were, which means if it's a pump, if it's just crazy hype and FOMO, the cards always end up still staying relatively above where their low was, meaning it creates a new floor that is higher than the previous floor. With these cards, we're seeing a new floor. The old floor for this card was somewhere around $150. Now it's around $220, which, again, comparatively to where it was around $350, that's decent. And seeing how it's stabilized pretty much around the $210 to $230 mark, getting a near mint copy of this card at that price point might be the last time you have an opportunity to do so, because these tag team alt arts, again, they've already flown up like crazy once. This has happened with many cards over time where once they get that real big spike, if they correct a little after it, the next time they go up, they're not coming down. They might correct at a new high, even higher. The new correction price next time this card goes up like crazy could be $350, which is its current high of all time. And that happens a lot with these dated promo cards. Another reason, it's Mew and Mewtwo. Mew and Mewtwo, two of the most popular Pokemon in the entire brand. I think with Mew being one of these staple chases of the entirety of the Scarlet and Violet era, if the Bubble Mew does do what I expect it to do, which is just get extremely expensive over time comparatively to the like Moonbreon, I think that other Mew cards are going to kind of see a little bit of a domino effect where they will kind of get pushed up a little higher than they otherwise would have. So I could see some kind of effect of that occurring to cards like this. Mewtwo, people clearly love Mewtwo. If we ever see like Rocket's Mewtwo get a good punch up a little bit further, we could see this card kind of have an effect on it. One thing you need to know on the market is if certain cards are getting pumped or going up in value and they have specific Pokemon in them, there is a domino effect that usually happens on every other card pertaining to that Pokemon or having that Pokemon. So that's something to look out for. If you ever see something just really rise, take a look at all the other cards around it. Usually they will move up, and if they haven't yet, it's normally a good buying opportunity. It's also a tag team alternative art. The tag team alt arts just have been getting more expensive year by year. They've been getting more pricey. There was a point where cards like this were 20 to 30 bucks that I was buying them for, and now look where they're at. I wish I stacked up on 50 of them when they were 20 to 30 bucks. But again, when I was buying cards like that and buying mass amounts of cards like this, I was running a business, and you have to spend money to make money. Things are constantly in and out. You can't just hold on to things. But now that I'm strictly a collector again and talking to you guys like this, I can tell you what the smart move to do is right now. And if I see a card similar to what this is now, like when it was 20 to 30, I'll be sure to let you know. So be sure to watch all the content, because there will likely be another card just like this when this was 20 to 30 bucks that will show up sometime in the next couple months. It always happens. So Mewtwo and Mew GX Tag Team Alt Art, I think, is one of the best tag team alternative art promos. It features two of the most popular Pokemon in the entirety of the brand, and it is corrected from its high, and it could correct even more. I'd say the best price to get this thing at right now, if you could, is somewhere between 180 to 200. If it drops that low, I think that's a great price point, because again, the next time this thing goes up, I don't think it's coming down anywhere near where it's at right now. So Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX Alt Art. Following up the Mew train, the Mew hype train right now, I'm going to say the Mew from the Scarlet and Violet 151 UPCs. Now, this was a card where immediately when 151 Japanese released, everybody knew this was like the top the top special art rare next to Charizard. This was the chase next to Charizard. I mean, Charizard was somewhere around like $200+ on release for Japanese, whereas the Mew was around 150 to 170. A lot of people were eyeing up the Mew left and right. It was like one of the big dogs of the set, right? And when it came over to English and we saw that it was a promo, a lot of people got discouraged. They're like, oh, it's a promo. It's going to be worth nothing. It's going to be so accessible. But for me and a lot of people who watch my content, you know that when a promo variant of a very popular card in the highest rarity, and that's really important, the highest rarity, comes over to English, it always crashes and becomes completely cheap or super cheap when it's in mass abundance. But the second you can't find the product that was in, it goes berserk. It goes crazy up in value. And a lot of these 151 UPC Mew promos were around 30 bucks for a good period of time. There's actually a video I made back maybe like 7, 8 months ago where this card was around 20 bucks. And I was flirting with the idea of spending about 10 grand on them, on just this card. And I didn't, because again, when you're running a business, you got to be very specific with allocating money. And I wish I did, because look, it went all the way up to $75. Would have made a metric crap ton, but I didn't. And I'll take that L, whatever. But the thought process was correct. A high rarity, very popular promo, when the product it's in starts to become inaccessible, the promo goes up like crazy. The card has since corrected back down to around $52. Now, this is a card right now where I just spoke to you about the Mew and Mewtwo Tag Team Alt Art, and I picked the order of these the way I did so I could say this. The Mew and Mewtwo Tag Team Alt Art was at one point just like this Mew card, around $40 to $50. And everyone said, oh, that's pretty expensive for it. I got to think about that. Then guess what? Within a year, it's up to $350+. This is one of those cards where in the next couple years, I could see it going from a $52 card all the way up to $150, $200 without question. Without a bat of an eye, it can just go up that fast. and people will be like, oh, I should have gotten it, I should have grabbed it. You're already seeing 151 UPC boxes being insanely expensive, and they're not going to get less expensive. They're going to keep going up because guess what? It's 151, one of the most popular Scarlet and Violet sets. You're getting 18 packs. You get 2 great promos. The value is there, so people are going to charge you even more if you want it. And that's just how it goes. So to grab this card right now at $52, to me, for what just happened to it and the correction back down, seems like this is the best point to get it right now. It's going to be the best point, and I think the last time to get it at sub like 80, 90. I think right now at 52 is a great point to get it. If you really like Mew, if you really believe in 151 in the Scarlet Violet era promos, this would be a great card to pick up. So the Mew UPC promo. Next up is the Mewtwo UPC promo, which is an illustration rare. So this is more of the budget one of the two. This card has gone up since its correction area around, it did go all the way back down to around 20 something dollars, and now it's moved up to 32. I still think this is a solid card to get because again, Mewtwo is extremely popular, as a lot of you know from Destined Rivals, Team Rocket's Mewtwo. This is an insanely popular Pokemon on a promo that we didn't get the illustration rare of in English. So I think if you want this card, you're forced to get this one, or you're forced to get the cheaper variant in Japanese. A lot of people gravitate towards English because either they can read the card, they feel more comfortable with those cards. There's a plethora of reasons. I think at 32 bucks, this guy is actually at a pretty nice price point because it is Mewtwo. Mewtwo, typically, when it gets an illustration of any form, over time, the cards go up in value. Mewtwo Tag Team Alt-Art, I mean, recency bias with Destined Rivals Mewtwo. Another Mewtwo card before that. I mean, you can even look at the Pokemon Go Mewtwo. That card was literally this price for over a year and a half, 2 years, and then look where it's at now. It's just like, there are many examples of Mewtwo cards, even not popular ones, that just get really stupid. Look at the Mewtwo Tag Team Rainbow. I mean, there's many examples of Mewtwo cards continuously doing what they do at high price points. I don't think this one's going to be any different. He's going to get expensive. Will he be as expensive as the Mew in the UPC promo? I don't think so. I think the Mew definitely has the edge because it's an SIR promo versus this one is just a straight illustration rare. But in terms of grading, this guy is going to have a better day in the PSA 10 department because illustration rares have a much harder time grading than lots of SIRs. If you look at pop reports for PSA 10s and PSA 9s of IRs and SIRs, IRs are insanely lower in the PSA 10 department because they're more susceptible to print lines, scratches, etc. There's many reasons as to why you would want to get an IR and a 10 over an SIR over in a 10 long term, but then you have to weigh out demand, you have to weigh out the popularity of both Pokemon, and right. If you could get a good copy of the Mewtwo, a really nice near mint copy at around 30 bucks, and you can grade it and try to go for a 10 and you can get a 10, I think long term it's going to do you wonders. I think this card raw at $30 is going to do you wonders because it's Mewtwo. But again, the card is starting to pop back up a little bit, right? It's moving up a little bit, so I'd be pretty quick on the jump if you're making a decision to get this one. This is one of the more cheaper cards on the list in terms of a promo, but again, 151, one of the most popular Scarlet Violet sets. You're not seeing 151 anywhere anymore unless you're paying ridiculous prices for it, and it's Mewtwo. And we have a history of Mewtwo cards doing some crazy things. So Mewtwo from the illustration rare department of 151. Pretty good. This might be the cheapest promo on the list, but it is the Terrasilize Eevee from the Eevee Prismatic UPC. Now, this is one of those cards where some of you guys are going to be like, oh, Dama, this is terrible. I don't want this card. I'm not going to buy it. I don't need this card. Why would I get this card? It's only 20 bucks. It isn't even worth anything, dude. You know how many cards I've just shown you on the list that were right where this Eevee is now and have become 60, 70, 80, 100, 150, 200 plus cards within a year or two? Every single card on this list was where this Eevee is now. Eevee, why is this specific card one that I would consider? One, it's down 40%. That's a good sign to buy it because it's likely corrected and now it's going to trend upwards. Two, it is a high rarity, the highest rarity of Scarlet and Violet, SIR promo. Whenever it is the highest rarity of a popular Pokemon in a promo, that is my favorite, most safest thing I've ever bought, literally ever, with Pokemon. Highest rarity promos in English are like the most free thing long-term to buy and assume that they will just go up, because they always do. Why do they always do it? Because scarcity. There's limited amount. Whatever the product they come is, once it's not available, guess what? The only way to get that card is by paying the secondhand market prices that are usually inflated and pushed up and up and up and up and up. How is this card in terms of like quality control? I've heard that it's all right. I haven't checked the pop report, so I'm not going to talk on that if I haven't seen it. I would assume based on SIRs and based on the quality control of the UPC boxes from what I've seen, looks pretty decent. I'd say it's probably got a 40% to 50% PSA 10 rate, which is pretty normal. But the big thing I'm looking at here is the raw value. Just the raw value of this card alone right now just is super enticing. At $20 for a terastallized specific, what I want to say is like a more exclusive or more like in-demand variant of the SIR terastallized Eevee. Remember, there are two variants. There's in Prismatic Evolutions, there's the promo and there's the pullable one. In Terastal, you can pull both from the same box. It's just which one are you going to get. In English, the more desirable of the two is the promo, which again, why is the one that you can pull so crazy expensive compared to the promo? Well, because the promo anybody can get. But guess what? When not everybody can get the promo because you don't have the UPCs available, this guy's going to get really expensive because that always happens. So $20 this card. If you're balling on a budget, you want to buy a card that you just look at every now and then in your binder, say, that's pretty, that's a nice card. And then you just want to check on it in a year and a half price-wise and see how crazy it's gotten, or like 2 years from now, this is going to be one of those cards you should do it. Because if you buy any card right now on this list at the cheapest available price to see like it considerably go up, this is one that I'd be like, all right, it's probably going to go up pretty considerably in the next 2 to 3 years, because high rarity SIR variants of promos just do. And when the box they come in is not readily available, it's not sourced, distro's not talking about it, or the secondhand market has priced it up to ungodly numbers, these singles get affected and they go up in value. So Eevee for the next card. Next up, we have the Umbreon and Darkrai Tag Team Alternative Art from the Sun and Moon era. Another Tag Team Alternative Art. I love the Tag Team Alternative Arts. They're some of my favorite cards in the entirety of the past 10 years of the TCG. Umbreon and Darkrai, no different. Why Umbreon and Darkrai? Because one, we are coming into a Darkrai, hypothetically, a Darkrai set should be coming pretty soon. Abyss Eye is rumored to be a Mega Darkrai set. Now, whenever a Pokemon gets a set that is targeting it, usually its other cards will be affected preemptively to the set releasing as people hyping up what is coming next. So I could see this card getting a little push from that. On top of that, Umbreon's in the card, right? Nobody can deny how crazy Umbreon cards are. Literally nobody can deny it. Dude, I can't deny it. Look right here in my hand. I can't deny it. I got both the Umbreons in Japanese, the crazy Umbreon chases in the highest grade possible with both grading coming. I love Umbreon. Umbreon's my favorite of evolutions with Espeon. But here's an example again of like, this is when Umbreon wasn't as crazy hyped as it is now. Look at Sunbreon, look at Moonbreon, how crazy expensive they are. Then when you look at this guy, you're like, $129. That just doesn't make sense. For how crazy hyped Umbreon is, doesn't make sense at all, the pricing of this card. It literally doesn't. It shows how fake a lot of the hype for recent Umbreon cards are after the Moonbreon. It's like, this card, hypothetically, if Umbreon was as popular as everybody says it is, right? Like, really as popular as every Umbreon card should be crazy expensive, including this one. But it's not the case. I think this card still, though, is insanely underrated. At $129 for a near mint copy, or around that, is such a steal. It is such a crazy steal, in my opinion. I think it's too good. There's a little Easter egg in the background on the TV in the background of the card. Pikachu's on it too. So Pikachu collectors, if you're looking for a card that features Pikachu as an Easter egg, this card. But let's talk about the fun stuff about this card. Over the past year, this card has gone up a lot. It's gone up a lot over the past year, but I still don't think it is anywhere near where it could get. At its highest, it was pushing a little under $200 when we had that big boom. Again, I still don't think this thing is. I think this card could be $300-400+ within the next 2 years, without question. And it's one of those cards where, like, anytime I see a really good-looking copy of this card, show up anywhere, I'm always extremely tempted to buy it because, one, PSA 10 rates with these tag team alt arts is difficult. It's hard to get the 10s, but the 10s carry a very, very generous premium. They're hard to get, though. They're very hard to get. And with PSA's current shift in how they've been doing things, a lot of people are more skeptical of getting 10s. On top of that, PSA has just gotten stricter, so even more skeptical in terms of sending cards to get 10, especially this era of cards because QC was a little bit of an issue, quality control. But I still think where it's at right now, 120 is around a great price. 120, 130, 140, anything in that scope of this card is just really good. I have to give you a comparison, right? Would you rather spend $140? And I have to ask myself this because I'm a big advocate of this card. I really like the card I'm about to mention. Ethan's Ho-Oh from Destined Rivals is around the price of this card. Would I rather buy this card or Ethan's Ho-Oh? This card all day long without hesitation. Why? Ethan's Ho is going to have time on the market to move and do its thing. This card overnight could just shoot up to stupid prices, and that might be your last chance to get it where it is now, right? So this is one card where it's like it's very volatile in terms of how quickly it could explode up literally overnight, and people just wouldn't know why it did it. Versus a modern card that's still being printed, that still has a lot in rotation. I'd buy this card. If you are like on edge about buying it, you're like, I want to buy it, but I don't know when. Now might be the last time to get it at a good price. At any point, this card could take off. And the second it does, you're getting it nowhere near where it is now. It could become a $300 card within a week. And guess what? It's probably not going to correct much off that. It could just keep going up because it's one of those cards. And then, God forbid, people start using the Umbreon hype factor behind it. Then this card will never see the light of day where it is again. So this is one card where if you are thinking about getting it, if you have been thinking about getting it, this might be your last chance for the next couple months to pick one up. Because, again, I'm worried this card could, although it only went up to about 170, if the right amount of hype mixed with the right amount of push into the Umbreon stigma really sets this thing off to stupid prices, it could. It very well could. And I've always kept that in the back of my head and been worried about that. So I've been picking up some of these cards every now and then if I see a really good looking copy, because it's like I don't want to be left behind when this thing really takes off. And I don't know when it'll be, but I know it'll come. It's just one of those where it's like I've seen it go up when it was $20 and I thought it was going to be $150 plus, and it did that, and now it's sitting here at $129. I'm like, it could be $300 plus, and I wouldn't bat an eye. So that's my way of thinking. Umbreon Darkrai, really good tag team alt art, super good, low QC, low pop 10s. Umbreon's on it. Darkrai's coming up with Abyss Eye, one of the next Japanese sets coming up. So there could be a little push from that. And it's up a lot over the past year, but it still has a lot to go. It's corrected since its high of the past year, so this might be the last chance to get it if there's another push into the hobby. So Umbreon and Darkrai Tag Team Alt Art. Next up, we have Espeon and Deoxys GX Tag Team Alt Art. Again, another card I absolutely love. It is super, super good. I have an ARS 10 of the card in English, which is, I think, a 1 of 1. I think I got the only one in the world because I love ARS grading, and English cards and ARS slabs look goated. They're so good. Espeon and Deoxys Tag Team Alt Art down 20% over the past, I think it's the 6-month mark. Let me check. Let's see, where are we at here? 3 months. We're looking at 3 months for this one. So over the past 3 months, it's down 20%. Over the past year, it's probably up a considerable amount. Right now, sitting at around $80 to $90 for a near mint copy, if you want to get it. Espeon, again, insanely popular. Deoxys, insanely popular. Does it have the effect of like Umbreon Darkrai? No, not with where things are right now with Umbreon. Umbreon cards are just in another level right now and compared to Espeon cards. However, I still think Espeon and Deoxys, this card is like, it's crazy good. It's so dang good. And the prices are showing that because this came in the same collection box as the Umbreon and Darkrai Tag Team Alt Art did. So they're in the same collection box, which is stupid expensive if you ever want to think about buying one. They're really expensive. So it's better to just buy the singles. This card has come down from around $120, $130, and now it's around $89.90. The PSA 10 premium on this card is stupid ridiculous. It's really dumb because it's very hard to grade this card in a 10. It's the QC's rough on this card. It's equally as rough with the Umbreon Darkrai, but there's more of a premium with this one in a 10. At least it was like that for like 2+ years. probably is the same way now. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm super open to being wrong about that. If it did change, that's a good thing because it shows that both promos are equally as bad QC and one's not considerably more, screwed up. $90 for the card. Does that feel fair for a tag team alt art of Espeon and Deoxys? Yeah, dude. I mean, look, again, here's the comparison I'll give you. Would you rather buy the Espeon SIR from Prismatic Evolutions over a tag team alternative art of Espeon and Deoxys from way long ago? There is no product that this comes in available at a fair price, and there is a finite amount of these on market, and literally overnight at any point, if somebody with a huge wallet wanted to, they could buy up all of them and the card could 3x overnight. And people would just have to accept that. I'd buy 2 of these, man. I wouldn't spend $200 on a Prismatic Espeon SIR right now. Do I think that card's going to go up over time? I do. Do I think this card is more explosive growth potential? 100%. The tag team alternative art promos are some of the best cards to buy right now. They're higher entry points, yes, but the potential of what they can do is stupid, man. It's really dumb, and we've already seen a little bit of what they can do with a little bit of pressure on them. If all focus went to these cards, not everything else in the market, and people are just hyper-focusing tag team alt arts and buying them left and right, these cards will, and I will make this statement confidently, there will be a day within the next year or two where I'm going to make a video and say, told you so, and these cards are going to be ridiculously expensive. Another example, would you buy the Umbreon V alternative art from Evolving Skies for $450+ or buy 4 of these? That Umbreon can correct at any time $100, $200 and just keep riding a wave for the next 5 years. It could. This guy, he's going to explode at some point, along with the Umbreon Dark Art. Like, these 2 cards, any of these tag team alt arts at any point can just explode, and nobody can do anything about it because there's so limited amount on market. The tag team alt arts are the one cards I'm very careful when I talk about publicly because I'm worried that if I make a video talking about them and bring the light to them in the way I can, because luckily I'm super thankful so many of you watch my content. But there comes a price to so many people watching content. Some of you watching have deep wallets. Some of you could buy this card out tonight and nobody could do anything about it. And that's something I have to consider when I talk about these cards. But I'm not going to refrain from talking about things I genuinely think will happen in the market, whether I talk about them or not. So if you can benefit from me talking about things, that's amazing. That's great. Make your own decisions. But whether I speak about this or not, I think it's going to happen. The Espeon Deoxys GX Tag Team Alt Art, I think no matter what I do, if I talk about it or not, I think it's going to go up like crazy within the next 2 years and get really stupid. And I think a lot of the tag team alt arts will do that. So here's another example of one. Just a great card, undervalued in my opinion. Let's get back on track with the Scarlet and Violet era with the Kingdra SIR. So this card is around $60. I have a video. I'm pretty sure I have like 3 or 4 videos over a year and a half ago. I have many videos talking about this specific card. I had people leave many mean comments towards me when I said that this card would be where it is right now. Maybe a year and a half ago, when this card was about $6 to $7. I said this card would be well over 60, 70 plus raw, and the PSA 10 would be over $300, $350. Because guess what? Highest rarity promo of a popular Pokemon with a nice art. There is no reason it won't be. And I said that when it was $7. I said it when it was 10, said it when it was 15, said it when it was 30, 40 plus, and I'm still going to say it now. This card at $60 is at a decent price because it has just corrected from around 80, 90. At $60, I still think this could come down more, but Shrouded Fable, the boxes this came in, you're not finding them for good prices anymore. It's like the hype crazy wave that came in made it so, say like a tag team alt box from back in the Sun and Moon era, that thing had time to marinate. You can still find that thing for decent prices. You can still find the singles around for decent prices for a long time. This thing shot up like crazy because all the attention in a single set went to the promos that were in the set. They were the best cards of Shrouded Fable in many people's opinion. Although, again, I think Shrouded Fable has some of the best illustration rares in the entirety of the Scarlet Violet era. I mean, look at my channel profile. It's the Dust Skull. It's beautiful. It's beautiful art. But I still do believe that this illustration of Kingdra is arguably the best Kingdra illustration in the entirety of the TCG. I think a lot of people would agree with that. There are some E-Series Kingdras. There's the Crystal Cave. I mean, there are really good Kingdra illustrations, but this one takes it to a whole nother level. It's paying homage to an old Japanese painting, which a lot of people really like. They like the correlation with illustrations. The card's already gone up like crazy. It's shown what it can do and what it has done, and it's corrected back down, and it's starting to move up quickly again. So that's a sign for me where, like, all right, the card was at low 50 after its crazy high. Now it's come back up to about 60. What does that mean? Should I buy it? Will it come back down again? I don't see the market going into the 30th anniversary slowing down at all. I think if the future sets of like Mega Darkrai and like, let's say we get a Rayquaza set with Mega Rayquaza, and say they throw in Kyogre Groudon in there with Esmeralda, it's not going to slow down, man. It's not going to slow down for the next 2 years. It's going to keep moving. And cards like this will feel the effect of that and keep going up. It's one card where I would grab this one right now, and I'd try to make a grading play on it. I'd try to get a 10 on it if you're into grading. If you want to get it raw, I could see this card going up to 80, 90 again, and maybe correcting a little bit for a while, or it could just keep going up. It's one of those where, like, I think it'll go up 10, 20 bucks, 30 bucks in the next year, and then it'll correct a little bit, or it'll find a nice little medium point to stay at. But I do think this card is one of them that, like, again, over time, it will be very expensive because it's a highest rarity SIR promo of a popular Pokemon. But it's not even that Kingdra's just like crazy popular. Kingdra's popular, not crazy popular, but the art is what really does it for this card. If you were to get a card that could potentially just really take off out of this one in the Greninja, the Greninja was one everybody was saying would be the one to really go and really move. The Greninja was at one point 4 or 5 times the Kingdra's price, and now look at them. They're like neck and neck. I think the Kingdra is better than the Greninja, and the Greninja has other options in the Scarlet Violet era that I think and a lot of other people think are better. So that's, I mean, personally, I don't think that. A lot of people think that the Twilight Masquerade Greninja is the best. I think the Greninja promo is the best. We're going to have a Mega Greninja coming in for a future set, which we've already seen the leaks of that card. It looks good. So there's tons of Greninja cards. You have tons of options. Kingdra just has this. So Greninja fans have options to allocate their money for Greninja cards. Here's your Kingdra card. That's it. Kingdra has much more potential to get like bought out or get really a lot of hype behind it, resulting in the card going up in value. So Kingdra's the one out of the 2 promos I'd pick to buy if I were to make if I wanted to make value out of the card, but also have a card that's just really, really, really good. And a card that I think right now, this might be one of its lowest points moving forward, which, again, there's been many, 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 many times to buy this card. Many. And I've spoken about it every single time. But I will say, again, I still think right now this card is good to get. If it goes up to 80, 90, I might never talk about it again because it might just be gone. It might just, it did its thing. And you know what? There's going to be more cards like this. Kingdra is one example of a card that was $7 to $10 on release as a really nice promo that shot up to where it is now very quickly after the set it was in, or the set it was a promo in after the release. There will be many cards like this moving forward, and we'll talk about them every time, but Kingdra is the last one I can remember. Or no, the last one I can remember is the Eevee from the UPC. That one could do some stuff like this moving forward. It could. Terrestrialization gimmick is harder to really get behind for a lot of people. But if we get another, you could say the Oricorio from Phantasmal Flames because it's a Shinji Kanda art. You could say that one because it's so insanely cheap right now. But it's harder because it's Oricorio. And Oricorio is, it's hard. Shinji Kanda could be the savior of that promo going up a lot over time. That's one we could have talked about in this video. But I just think because it's Oricorio, it's difficult. It's hard to really, it's really hard to like confidently say it will. Oricorio it's hard, man. Shinji Kanda can carry cards, but can you carry Oricorio promo? He could. He probably could. He probably will. I could see the Oricorio getting to like $50, $60+ dollars, even though right now it's like 10 to 12. That's one I could have put on this list. It's one I honestly should have put on this list. The Oricorio promo from the Phantasmal UPC, that card will probably be 50 to 60 bucks within the next year once the UPCs are not as readily available. I'll make that statement right now. I don't have the card on the screen, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Should have put it on this list. I didn't. But Kingdra, great card. On to the next one. Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team Alt Art. Another Tag Team Alt Art. I'm not going to go crazy in depth with the whole spiel of the Tag Team Alt Arts because I already have like twice in this video. I will say Pikachu and Zekrom is up 161% over the past year. That's really nice. There was a really good chance to buy this around 50 to 80 bucks. Pretty sure I talked about it in a previous video when it was much cheaper, which is good. That means, hey, Dama has a clue of what he's talking about with the market. That's good news, right? I feel good about that. Feeds my ego. But I still think this card is at a good price because it showed that it can get up to the 200s and it can go even further if it really wanted to, if people really wanted it to. Card's currently at about 150 near mint. That's really nice for this card. It's a solid promo. It's got Pikachu. Pikachu cards over time just go up. It just depends on how hard they go up in what year. A good example of one card. It's different from this card, but it is a good example of a Pikachu card that for a while was sitting around $200 to $300. It was the stamp box Pikachu. That card was one I've had many copies of over the past 5 years. Bought them between $200 to $300 every single time. Now the card's sitting around $1,000, I think, around $1,000. Or it may be a little under now. At its high, it was like $1,000 this year. It might still be around there. It could be 6, 7, 8 somewhere. The point is, for a long time, it was around a $200 card. And then guess what? This year we got a little boom and boom, 3x its value, 4x its value, 5x its value. That just happens sometimes with Pikachu promos. And you can't predict which one it'll happen to and when. When it happens to one, usually happens to all. But again, next time Pikachu cards start getting really crazy love out of nowhere, you're going to see this card start to hit really big highs. Not 200, but it could hit 3, 4, etc. So Tag Team Alt Art, Pikachu Zekrom, great card. I personally like the Japanese copy better because the texture is just like, it's so good. But for value's sake at its current price point, this is the better option. So Tag Team Alt Art, Pikachu and Zekrom, really good card. We got the beautiful EVGX alternative art promo from the Sun and Moon era. A beautiful Komiya art. The Derpy Eevee. This thing's down 7% over the past, I think it's like 3 months. It's $90. When this card was about 30, 40, we talked about it and we said how it would go up, and it did, which is cool. I still think it's pretty, for what it is, I still think it's pretty low right now. I think it could come down even more to 70, 60-ish bucks. I think it could. Graph is suggesting that it's correcting a little bit, so 90 might be the new correction point, the new floor. It could still hit over $200 for this card because it is an Eevee card. It's an alternative art of an Eevee card from the Sun and Moon era. I mean, look at, there's 42 listings on TCG Player. This is one of those cards that's a wild card. Overnight, it could be bought out and boom, there you go. You can't get it anymore. People are going to try listing up their copies, but guess what? All the copies listed up are not going to be near mint. They won't, because a lot of these cards, the QC was terrible. The condition over 10 years. Lots of people don't take amazing care of their cards if you've had them for 10 years. So near mint copies are scarce. They're scarce. With that being said, I think this is a good card to pick up if you really like Eevee. If you really like Eevee, you're an Eevee collector and you have the wallet to grab this card, this is a great card to get in a near mint quality. Because it's a great card. If you're a Komiya collector, here's a great card to pick up. Komiya has a very dedicated hardcore fan base in terms of illustrations that Komiya does. Tomokazu Komiya is insane with the illustrations they do. Very like, it's like fever dreamish. It's super, super cool. And Eevee's no different from that. We've seen what has happened with a Tomokazu Komiya illustration before with the Drowsy and Scarlet and Violet base. If something like that ever happened again, cards like this, Eevee could be affected. So that's some way to think about it. Tag Team Alts ever go up again, this Eevee will be affected because it's from Sun and Moon era and it's a Tag Team Alt. It's not, or it's not a Tag Team Alt, it's an Alt from the Sun and Moon era, which is basically in the same batch. If Eevee cards ever get a push, here's another card that there's many reasons why I could see this card going up further than what it did before and further than where it's at now. And any of those reasons could happen overnight. So it's one of those cards where I'm like, all right, if it goes up, well, not even if, when it goes up, I'll know why. When? I don't know. Somewhere in the next year to two. Could happen quicker. I give an estimation of about a year or two for most of these cards because that keeps me in a safe, like, pretty grounded understanding that it shouldn't happen within a year, but sometimes it does. And if it does, all right, I was early. And it was a little earlier than I thought, but the foundation of the thoughts were correct. If it happens within 2 years, that's about what I expect. Something stupid or something with a wave of attention, something with pumping will happen within 2 years. I guarantee it with most of these cards that make them go up. And I don't think this one is any different. So Eevee Altart from the Sun and Moon era. Great, very good card. Next up, we got Garchomp and Giratina GX Tag Team Alternative Art. Another beautiful Tag Team Altart that has corrected 26% over the past 3 months. It's around $81. I mean, we've already seen what Giratina cards can do with the Shinji Kanda Giratina Altart from Lost Abyss and Lost Origin. Extremely expensive card, super big chase. Who would have known that Origin form Giratina was popular? More so than the original four. What? That's crazy. Giratina is one of the most loved legendaries in the entirety of the brand. I mean, Giratina is that guy. He's just, Giratina, I love you. Giratina is my favorite of the Sinnoh legendaries. Personally, I've always loved Giratina. I full-on shiny hunted a Giratina back when I was like 16 in my bedroom. And it only took 18 encounters. It was my quickest full-on shiny hunt ever, and I still have the Pokemon, still have it in my DS over there. It's like never getting rid of that cartridge. I think I have the cartridge right here. Check this out. Here's the copy, Platinum, right here. He's on there, and never getting rid of it. But Giratina Origin form, crazy demand with the Lost Origin boy, the Altart being over $500+. You know how easy it would be for someone to be like, wait, is there another Origin form Giratina card? We should buy up that one too, because the Lost Origin one's so expensive. And then guess what? You have this one. You have the Darkrai Giratina, where Giratina is ripping a rift through space-time because he just does that. He's in the Distortion realm, just chilling, doing his thing. And he's in his Origin form. That's how you know he's in the Distortion realm, because he's in his Origin form in the art. And people love Giratina. They love Giratina in its Origin form. If Sinnoh ever gets a little push in terms of anything, you can see this card going up. If Tag Team Altarts go up, you see this card going up. With Garchomp having a new Mega form in the DLC, with Garchomp, if it gets an SIR, a Mega SIR in an upcoming set, you can see this card go up. There's a lot of reasons this card could go up for other reasons, but 26% down in the past 3 months with a high of around, I think it was like 120, 130. You could get this at its highest. Over the past 3 months, we're down 110. It's currently at $81 near mint copy. Hard PSA 10 card to get. Great card. It's a fantastic card. And I think at 80 bucks for a Giratina Origin form alternative art card. Yeah, 100%. We've seen what the Lost Origin copy can do by itself. You know, with a Shinji Kanda illustration, sure. Chase of a set, sure. Extremely hard to pull, sure. I understand the price point of that. But for a card that's super finite and how many are available, 37 listings, they're all expensive. Yeah, this card could get up to 200 plus, and I wouldn't bat an eye. I'd be like, okay, yeah, makes sense. So, beautiful card. If you're a big Giratina fan or a big Garchomp fan, yeah, this is a solid card you should pick up. Again, give you the comparison. Would you rather get the Destined Rivals Mewtwo and gamble on that thing crashing or going up like crazy over the next couple years, or just staying around where it's at for 3 years? Or would you get a card that there is a super, super limited amount of, with a fantastic art from an era 10 years ago that's still holding up to this day from how good it is? And you could buy 4 of them instead of buying one Destined Rivals Mewtwo. I mean, I love modern cards. I really like super modern cards, recent cards. I love a lot of them. They're so great. But if I'm thinking of cards that will move quicker, upwards, or like upwards primarily, it's cards that have been around for a long time that there's reasons why they can go up. And Giratina Garchomp is one of them. It's a very, very good card. Reshiram and Charizard. I'm going to keep this one short. $141 near mint, down 9% over the past 3 months. This is Charizard. I don't got to tell you anything else besides that. It's Charizard. It is Charizard. Zekrom got the one face of the brand with Pikachu. Reshiram got the other face with Charizard. These two cards should be $300-400+ within the next few years. No questions asked. And this is no different. $141 near mint. Good price for it, because this card will be over $300+ some point in the next few years. It will be. I don't gotta give any. I don't gotta go further into detail because I've explained myself with the tag team alt arts 20 times in this video. I've explained myself with the Zekrom Pikachu, and this card is no different. It's the same. It's literally the same exact card, just opposites. With instead of Zekrom, we have Reshiram. Instead of Pikachu, we have Charizard. Same exact concept. Same exact thing. Down 9%. Could be the last point you could get it below 150. Moving forward, great card. Really nice. Quality control's rough on it. PSA 10s are hard on it. Same story, same song and dance. It just depends on what you like. Do you like Zekrom and Pikachu more? Or do you like Charizard more? Do you think Charizard cards go up more over time than Pikachu cards? Make that conscious decision and pick one. Or if you like both and you have the money, buy both. Personally, if I were to buy one or the other, Charizard cards are more consistently going up in spikes of like little pumps over time. Pikachu cards are more consistent over time. They will always go up. They both always go up, but Pikachu cards I feel like are way more consistent. Certain Charizard cards take a little bit longer. Most Pikachu cards consistently go up at a consistent rate. They're both great. It doesn't really matter what I think. Get the one you like. That's what I would say. They're both great, both at cheap price points for where they're at right now. I think both are good to get. Is that another Pokemon Center ETB promo? Oh my god, it's the Noctowl at 33 bucks. The Stellar Crown Pokemon Center ETB promo. The Noctowl Pokemon Center stamp. This is a great card. Noctowl is super popular. I've talked about this card before when it was even cheaper. Again, this card got all the way up to 50, 60 bucks. I talked about this card when it was 20 bucks in a video like 6 months ago. And clearly it 3x from where I told people that it was probably a good time to get it. It has since corrected 35% down, which means, hey, it corrected higher than what it was at. Who would have known that happens when things like that occur? Point is, it's $33 right now. I still think that's a good price to get it. Noctowl is a very liked Pokemon. It's popular. It's not as popular as a lot of the other Pokemon on this list, but Noctowl is popular. People like Noctowl. You know what they also like a little more than Noctowl right now? Pokemon Center stamped promos. They love them. And with any variation of a Pokemon Center stamp promo, when the set it's in is out of print, or the Pokemon Center ETB that it comes from is not readily available at all, or it gets to really stupid highs that are just, it doesn't make any logical sense to grab the box versus grabbing the single rises because it has to make sense. So this card at 33 bucks, if you're a Noctowl fan, here you go. This is like the creme de la creme of Noctowls for the price point. Clearly I could throw you like the Skyridge reverse Noctowl. That card's beautiful. But this is the best modern Noctowl illustration. It's so good, really nice, and I think it's underrated. It's $29 plus $2 shipping. That's 31 bucks for a Pokemon Center ETB stamp promo. There you go. It's such a good card. The Noctowl is so good. I'm gonna do a whole video on all the Pokemon Center ETB promos and my thoughts on all of them. Probably at some point, if you want to see that, let me know in the comments. I'm really tempted to do it because some of them are not like the others. Some are really like, this is great. Some are, don't buy this, and some are, give it time. And this is one that I'm like, it's a good spot to buy right now. Give it time, but it's a good entry point to getting the card. Noctowl. Really nice Pokemon. If you've made it this far, some of you probably didn't think I was even going to get or touch on these guys because of how many we've gone through. But no, I'm touching on them. The VMAX alternative art to the Evolutions, the OG Evolutions, and their V variants. I'm going to be quick with these, though, because there's not too much I can say from what I haven't already said in the past about these. But if you're new here, first video or few videos in, I'm going to tell you exactly what I've said about these in the past because it still holds up now. And if you could do me a favor, like the video and subscribe if you haven't. All right, Flareon VMAX alternative art down 27% from where it was at $50 to $65. Okay. These are part of the VMAX collection boxes. Each specific evolution had one. Quality control in the boxes was utter dog shit. It was terrible. You literally had V variants that were just completely OC or miscut in most of the boxes. The VMAXs were a little more even. They were a little better. You can tell that by the PSA 10 rates as well. $46 for a VMAX alternative art of an evolution. Also, this, if I'm correct, this is a Okacheke art, isn't it? Yeah, it's an Okacheke art. Okacheke's the GOAT. It's Flareon. People really like Flareon. Out of the VMAX and the V alternative art promos, I think the Flareon's like the second best, and I think the Flareon V is the best. 46 bucks for this card near mint, I think is so good. I think it's so, I mean, again, I think I have one somewhere around here. You're gonna give me a minute. Where is it? Right here. I mean, I got an ARS 10 of this bad boy. I love this card. It's so good. It really is a solid card. I think at 46 bucks is a steal of a price. This card's going to be well over 150, 200 bucks sometime in the next 2 to 3 years. And people are going to be like, why didn't I buy it then? I think that's the story I'm going to tell you for most of these cards in the next 10 minutes. They're cheap right now, and they will be hundreds of dollars moving into the future, because they are VMAX alternative art promos or base alternative art promos. It's the highest rarity promo of popular Pokemon. Some of them really move a lot faster than others upwards. Some of them take a little time. The Sword and Shield variant ones, they were like 15 to 20 bucks at one point, man. When these were being stocked, these are 15 to 20 bucks, and they're still 46 bucks for this one is wild. You would think this card would be like at least 100 by now, but it's not. So I still think it's a great time to get this card, the Flareon. It's really cheap. Based on community consensus, the Vaporeon VMAX Alt Art is the most popular of the VMAX alternative arts from this bunch. Currently sitting at $78 market. If you want a near mint copy, you got to pay $80 to $90, which honestly, I agree. This is the best one out of the bunch for the VMAX one. I do agree. I think this one is really, really solid. It was at highs of around 100. It's down 14% over the past 3 months. I think it's going to correct around here, and it'll start going upwards again, like a lot of these cards do. It's just a really good card. Going to keep it very short and sweet. When this card is over 200 bucks, people are going to say, why didn't I buy it when it was cheaper? Well, this might be one of your last chances to get it. Whenever you see a crazy boom in the hobby, followed by correction, whatever that correction bottom is, it's usually your best time to get cards, because after that they usually correct upwards pretty consistently, some faster than others. And when that happens, if you don't get them, then you're probably never getting them that cheap again. I've seen it time and time again. 78 bucks. If you can get a copy for 70, 80 bucks, that's really nice. If you're looking to try to go for PSA 10s, take a look at the card. These guys, the VMAXs, they're not the best in terms of centering. The Vs, good luck. they're terrible. Anyway, on to the next one. Jolteon VMAX alternative art is $60. The fact that this is more expensive than the Okacheke Flareon is actually kind of surprising to me. The art on this card is really good. Hasuno does a really good illustration for this, but the Flareon is the least expensive. I might have to pick up some of those Flareons. I didn't know it was that cheap, and considering like the other ones. Jolteon's usually the least favorite out of the bunch, but the art's really good for the Jolteon. It is really good. $60 for a near mint copy, down 13% over 3 months, high of 75 over the past 3 months. It's good. Again, a really good card. Wouldn't be surprised if this goes over 200 plus. Again, a question I'm going to pose to you: would you get the prismatic SIR Jolteon, Flareon, Vaporeon, or get the VMAX Altar Bad Boys? I'd get the VMAX Altar Bad Boys and buy 2 of each or 3 of each with the money. It's no question. It's really no question. Jolteon, same boat as the other 3 or the other 2. No difference. Just a very good card at a corrected point. Might be the last time to get it around this cheap. Flareon V alternative art promo. The one reason I want to talk about the Vs, I don't really have to, but I'm going to. Again, $63, up 25% over the past year. That's good. It had a high of around 80, and it's since corrected a little bit, but it's starting to move up again. The thing about these ones that you really need to know, if you don't know anything about these cards, if you've seen them, but you don't know too much regarding the quality control, the printing, anything like that, the V alternative art variants of the cards in this collection box are terribly off-centered. In some cases, they're even miscut. I have gotten more miscut cards of this card alone, or the Vaporeon, or the Jolteon, V Altarts. I've gotten so many miscuts over the past couple years of these cards than anything else I've ever seen in the hobby. What does that mean? That means, one, quality control was ridiculously dog shit terrible. You were getting cards that were wildly cut. Meaning PSA 10s for these cards are super difficult to get. Have I graded PSA 10s of all three of these? The Flareon, the Jolteon, and the... Yeah, I have. Have I graded OC or MC 9s as well? More than I've graded 10s. It's just, that's how it is. So if you're trying to get a 10, probably not gonna. I'm gonna tell you outright, probably not gonna. Can you? Yeah, you can. You probably, if you got real lucky. But if you're going to buy a copy that's in really, really good shape to get a 10, you're going to be ego bidding for it. What does ego bidding mean? It means when you and somebody else on the other side of another screen or computer or whatever know that the card has a real good chance to get a 10, and the person selling it likely has no interest in grading. So you and the other person are going to start outbidding each other to crazy extremes, way over market price usually, to try and get the card, because you know that crispy PSA 10 premiums, real nice. This is one of those cards that's going to happen a lot with. So don't expect to get a near mint copy in perfect PSA 10 condition anywhere at a fair market value. You won't. Unless you get really lucky on TCG Player, because sometimes TCG Player sellers don't care about grading at all and will sell you perfect 10 ready copies. I've bought many thousands upon thousands of cards on TCG Player, and I can tell you some sellers care and they'll send you the bull crap. Some sellers don't care and they'll send you perfect 10 copies of cards, and it's just, when you get that, oh, it's great. Some people know what they have, some people don't. I would suggest, if you are trying to buy a near mint copy of any of the Vs, the Flareon, the Vaporeon or Jolteon, which we'll get to, to try and grade a 10, TCG Player might be your best bet, because eBay, you're going to be ego bidding. So the Flareon, my personal favorite out of the three V alt arts of the OG evolutions, it's my personal favorite. I love this one. Great card. Flareon. Jolteon V, my least favorite out of the three. I still think it's really, really good. I like it a lot. I just like the other ones more. Simple as that. Again, $52, down 20% roughly over the past 3 months. No different from what I was telling you just with the Flareon. Same exact story, same exact feel, nothing different at all. I'm not going to ramble on more than I have to. This card is in the same exact boat. It's just a little cheaper at $52. If you like Jolteon, get this one. If you like all three, get this one. It's probably at a decent price right now. Jolteon. Lastly, the Vaporeon, sitting at $58, down again, roughly 20% over the past 3 months. Great card, terrible quality control. Same exact story as the last two. I am not going to keep this spiel on longer than I have to. They all, if you listen to what I said regarding the Flareon V alt art, listen to all of that. You don't have to listen to anything I have to say about these cards beyond that. Okay? Vaporeon, great card. $58 seems like a nice price to get it. Good copy, right? Nice card. Quick honorable mentions to end off the video. We have the Charizard V-Star from the UPC collection. Really nice card. $57, down 2% over the past 3 months. Good card. Charizard cards go up over time. If you like Charizard, good card to buy. Charizard V, around $32. Again, if you like Charizard cards, you have faith in Charizard cards, you should. The market is always favorable towards them. $32 is one of the cheapest Charizard alt-art promos you can get. It's the only Charizard alt-art promo you can get. Out of Charizard promos, it's one of the cheapest ones you can get at its price point. It's very good. Very good card. $32 seems like a steal for it. This card will be way more expensive one day. This card is Resident Sleeper, the Charizard VMAX alternative art. There is no Japanese alternative for this. This card was never printed in Japan. You can only get this. There might be like an Indonesian, Thai, English, or not English, Indonesian, Thai, Chinese variant. There might be. I don't remember off the top of my head. If you want this card, the English one is the most desirable. The English one is the most readily available and accessible. There is no Japanese variant of this card, to my knowledge still, unless they announced it or they printed it randomly and I just don't know about it. They're probably never going to, because we're out of the Sword and Shield era. We're out of high-class Sword and Shield sets. It's not like it's going to show up randomly somewhere. Charizard VMAX Alt Art. You want this card English. So, card being $36 right now, kind of wild. I thought for sure this thing, because it's like an English exclusive, would be way more. It will be way more one day. This card will probably be over $200+ at some point in the future. The Charizard UPC promos are like those cards right now that I'd say are between the 30-40 range that could see extreme jumps to 100 plus. And again, I wouldn't bat an eye because one, it's Charizard. Two, you have one of them that is a English exclusive, and then three, one is a story art with Mewtwo. The other one is a V story art with Venusaur. I mean, they're really good. They're really good. So, Charizard VMAX Alt Art promo. Really nice. Last card on the list, because I know some of you guys are probably punching your screen, yelling at me that I didn't include it until now, is the stained glass birds. The stained glass birds, the reason I'm putting them on this list is not because I think they're by any means undervalued. I think right now they're actually at a good price. I think they will go up over time steadily. There were a lot of these printed. You can still see there's 93 listings on them. Like there's a good bit of these out there, but I do think they're very unique. And when a card or a style on a card is unique, even if it's mass printed, it will still be very expensive. Use the Van Gogh Pikachu as an example. And this thing is not printed to the extent of the Van Gogh Pikachu. This card features a stained glass style, which is super, super, super cool. I remember watching people give these things away when they were like 10 bucks, and now here we are, 92, right? Good card. If you really like this art, I think it's a safe card to buy because I think it's very safe that it will go up over time because of how unique it is, because it features all three of the legendary Kanto birds. It's a really, really nice card with a really nice art. It's good, and yeah, they are pretty abundant for how long they've been around, and they're still only 90 bucks. You know what I mean? But very good card. I think if you like the Kanto trio and you like unique arts, this is a very good card to get that will likely continue to go up. So it's a very nice, just a little honorable mention. And with that being said, that ends the list. Let's close it out. Thank you so much for watching the entirety of today's video. It was a little bit of a longer one, but we had to go in depth with some of the cards because when you throw cards on a screen and you just look at graphs and try to quickly move on, it doesn't give you as the viewer the chance to understand why. If we're just looking at graphs, I understand how like numbers, percentages can be good indicators for decision making. But I see this thing that a lot of PokeTubers do, and there's nothing wrong with it inherently. It's just, I don't want to do that. A lot of them do it where they just skim by graphs. Nothing wrong with it. It's really good. It's really informative for the viewing pleasure if you want things like this. I just can't work that way. Again, I can't. It's nothing wrong with what anybody else does. What they're doing is good and great. I can't. I want to explain myself to every little detail as to why I think how I do, and that does not mean what I do is better than what other people do. It's not by any means. It's just I yap a lot more trying to explain myself. So that's why this video takes longer. I like to explain my reasonings as to why I believe things, and I could yap here for another hour about the rest of the cards, but I have to be a little quicker than I'd want to be. Point being, I yap a lot. I like to explain why I believe what I believe and my thoughts regarding a lot of the cards on the list to the utmost extent I can, because I personally feel like if I'm going to sit and listen to somebody talk about cards, I want to know that what I'm thinking is also being felt by somebody else who has been here for a long time, who has seen these things, who has bought and sold God knows how many cards, who has seen how customers and people react to the market in certain cards. I want to know that like my feelings are reflected upon that. And when I explain things in depth to you guys, I hope that that's what you're feeling. You feel like a sense of like, you feel like validation, that like your thoughts are on the right track, or you're feeling better about your thoughts. Or if you disagree with me, it challenges your brain to think, why do I disagree with him? Let me try and give my reasons. And then we can have a conversation in the comments. Just because, again, I don't like your comment or agree with you doesn't mean I dislike you. Leave a comment if you agree or disagree with me. We'll have that conversation. Then we can both throw our reasonings and maybe we find a middle ground. And maybe I change my opinion. I do change my opinion on things. It's usually when I give tons of reasons as to why I believe something, it's harder for me to change the opinion because the structure of why I think it usually doesn't change. But if somebody gives me reasons like, hey, Dama, with this card, did you consider the fact that there's going to be a giant influx of print that you didn't consider, so maybe the single could come down more at a better entry? that's a great thing to mention, because then I'd be like, oh, maybe. I didn't even consider that. Because again, I have a bunch of friends in distro, I have a bunch of people in distro, and I hear of what's coming through distro and the products and everything. But knowing the extent of how big it is, I don't know that until like usually a couple days after my buddies get notice of it. So if I'm a little early on saying something like that, you can hit me with that. Guess what? We can find a middle ground. Always comment what you think in the comments. Don't be afraid to challenge me at all. I'm just a guy talking about cards, and when you talk back to me in the comments, we're having a conversation. And I think that's how we have to go about it. This channel, at no point moving forward, I just want to make it clear, will never be intended for drama or bullshit. We're not going to do that here. We're going to talk about cards and enjoy the hobby how it is. There's a reason I have gone from a guy who's run a 7-figure Pokemon business to giving all that up. There's a reason I went from a guy who was into drama content a couple years ago to nothing at all. It's because as a person, I think the thing I love about this hobby more than anything in the world is what I'm doing now, talking about cards and enjoying the hobby for what it has to offer. The second it becomes a job, the second it becomes like a catty high school fight, the second it does all that, everything about Pokemon that I love, it loses it for me. So I cut out all the fat that I don't like, and now I love the hobby more than ever. And I think us talking about cards, us going back and forth, us discussing different things, it's the best thing, man. And if you were here to listen to me yapping through all of that and this, you are a real one. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, and let's just throw everybody off. If you're here right now, you're still listening to the entirety of it, comment down below. Comment down below this right now. Comment down below Sleepy Tyranitar. Has no context with the video. Means absolutely nothing to most people that are going to skip through the video. But if you've listened to the entirety of the video, I want to know you have. Comment Sleepy Tyranitar now, and I'll know you watched the entire video. And for me, that's so cool. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. We're going to have videos coming out every 2 to 3 days consistently and with different topics. I'm very tempted to start series type things like hot take something. I'd like a specified day for hot takes or specified day for niche car, something like that. Maybe we'll get into that. I'll let you know. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Please have an amazing day with your friends, family. Be safe and enjoy the hobby as much as you can, because this is an amazing, beautiful place that I absolutely love with everything I have. So thank you and have a good one. Later.